volume on that bad boy. Oh, hello. Good morning. We didn't get our intro music. That was weird. I missed the
Yeah,
music.
um
I,
that's what I guess
I,
is going. I'm not ready for this. I need some
I
Daffy. I need
know.
Sorry, guys. That's my
Where's
bad.
my music?
Mm.
You guys heard it? Dang. Now I like dun
So they
dun
heard,
dun
so they're
dun dun dun
ready, and
dun
we're
dun dun
not.
dun dun dun. Dun. I got to do it myself. All right. Okay. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good to go. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome. We're trying some new technology here, and as you can tell, it's throwing Carlos and I off a little bit. So we had one of those, Carlos. We had like one of those, those live broadcasts on like old
Where the
school
camera
TV
keeps
news.
going.
They're
Yeah.
like they're like
Yeah.
you're live, everybody. And we're like, oh, hello, welcome to the news tonight. And at least we weren't doing something embarrassing. But
Mm. Very true. Very true.
hmm. Anyways, all
Friends,
right, we're
good
good.
morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hope you guys had an incredible day yesterday. I hope you guys are ready for the holidays, man. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it, Peter. I know you guys don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but it's got to be something going on up there. Are you getting together with the family either way? Like, what's happening up there? It's
It's
just a
not a
regular work
holiday.
day in Canada.
It
Yeah.
is literally just another regular day. So there's
Yeah.
nothing special in Canada going on. So I'm using it to go shopping. I got lots of shopping and
Okay.
stuff to do before I head off to Colombia. So that's I've got a whole list of activities. So
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Very good, very good. Well, yeah, it's a lot going on here. And it's my wife's birthday on Friday as well. So man,
oh wow.
we have everything happening at once. So a lot of fun. Um, all right, friends, quick look at our gappers list. We got a bunch of stuff in the green here, but a lot more in the red. And you know what's leading this is Bitcoin. Bitcoin did it make 100K, Peter? I don't know where
It
to
did
look either when
not.
it comes to Bitcoin. It did not, right? Came short of it.
No.
And I see the title down to 92. So again, the biggest drop since we started kind of running here. But Bitcoin's leading the gap down list. There, all of it is on there this morning. We'll look at it. We'll see if there's anything in play that we can take advantage of. And we'll go from there, and then we'll see the gap up as well. People are saying they love the mug over on YouTube. Yeah, this is how we get going in the morning. That fuel. So big old cup of coffee. Peter, take us away on the U.S. economic calendar.
Okay, so no early morning announcements. We do have a couple of things coming out a little bit later. 9 o'clock is when we start with the Case Shiller Home Price Index expected to be about a 4.8% increase when that comes out. That's at 9, so we'll be able to give you an update on that during the course of the pre-market show here. 10 o'clock, we do have consumer confidence and new home sales that are coming out. Interestingly, the new home sales 725,000 new homes is the expectation. That's a contraction of around 4%. So that means a slowing, a reduction in the growth of new home sales. So we'll see. I don't think the market's going to care that much, to be honest, but it's there. The thing that might have the biggest impact is the 2 o'clock release of the FOMC November meeting minutes. Again, as always happens with these, there should be no surprises, right? We already know what the Fed said. This is just the printed minutes that get released. It always happens after the press conference and the public summaries. So, while there's no surprises, the computers will get this and automatically evaluate whatever they read in it and trade based on that information. So we usually see the market either take a jump or a drop right at 2 o'clock as the computers read it, and then usually recover that amount, whatever it moves. So again, there's no absolutes in trading. The market never always does anything. So, but usually we see that type of movement where it'll move in one direction to the other and then recover that. So that's something to look forward to at 2 o'clock. And if you're already in a position, well, you should be aware of it so that it doesn't sort of freak you out. Or you could take advantage of it, of course, if it goes in your direction and you can sort of take a partial or whatever you want to do as it heads down to whatever the extreme or up to whatever that extreme level is. All right. So 2 o'clock to me is the big number today, but I'll let you know about the home price index and 10 o'clock. Watch for the other numbers. We do have a number of earnings today. I don't know if we have the earnings calendar there. We do have quite a few things that are all retail related today. So you can see on our list we got Abercrombie and Fitch, we got Kohl's, Best Buy, Macy's, Dick's. I wasn't looking at Macy's, but Burlington Coat Factory. They just want to be called Burlington these days. Anyways, all of those came out this morning. And then a couple of interesting things after the close that we might stick around in the chat room to watch with you because we got CrowdStrike and Dell and Workday, a couple things like that. So let's see what happens, and we'll talk about some of these earnings because there's some interesting things on the gappers list, which I'll hand over to Carlos to take us through. But we got some interesting things moving on, variety of different news tidbits.
Yep, absolutely. Jumping right in here, guys. Let's take a look at the first one on deck. It's Zena, Zena, and this is up 60%, guys. 24 million shares traded. Hard to borrow on it. A float on this is 8 million, so very low flow stock. You want to be very careful on this one. Yesterday got going as well. If you take a look at yesterday, it was not on our gappers list because we normally don't watch anything under $5, but yesterday ran through that from $1 all the way up to $6 by the close. And this morning we got some more activity as well. So Peter, this seems to be high flying. It is a low flow, so typically not one that we like, but today they're in play for sure.
Xena is related to some news that we talked about yesterday. So it's actually a Canadian tech company, it looks like, software and company, but they're heavily involved in the drone industry. They make software and AI modules for military drones. And the military drone industry is expected to see significant growth. It was about a $14 billion industry in 2023, so last year. By 2032, it's expected to be about a $47 billion industry. Yesterday, if you remember, I mentioned the weekend comments made by Elon about how foolish it was to have human-manned fighter jets, and that, frankly, everything should be a drone, in his opinion. And that, of course, would support, anyways, the growth of this drone industry. So it looks like Xena is one of those companies that can take advantage of that. I don't see any news about new contracts, so feels like a speculative move upward that it's going to grow the industry and is one of the larger, at least software players in this space, that their drone technology will get more buyers. Again, I'm not seeing unless I'm missing it. Help me out they're members. You're always good if I miss a news article, but it just looks like that, again, expectations have gone up again. Sell the sizzle. It's all about what or the other. There's so many expressions out there for trading, aren't there? But anyways, buy the rumor, sell the fact. So this is all rumor buying. But Xena is up. Good volume this morning. I think I was seeing. I got to call it up here again. Yeah, 24 million shares traded so far this morning on this one. So yeah, I mean it's in play, but it is a low float, high risk trade. So just be aware of that and be careful.
Yeah, 100%, guys. This thing is on fire today. I'm gonna put it here on our risky pile. Gotta be really careful. Again, 8 million shares flow, so you gotta be extremely cautious with that one. Next on deck is SMTK, and this is up
8
53%.
million.
Another low flow stock. Let's take a look here what that flow is. Just gonna expand this a little bit on our gap. It's 792,000 shares flow. When is that low? I usually like to verify. So we'll check another source as well, just to make sure we got the right data there. But yeah, 792. I mean, that is extremely low. As you can see there. So at the moment, guys, as far as volume, 3.4 million shares traded.
Hmm.
Again, Sridhar, you are correct. This chart does look ugly. We're gonna run a truck pretty soon on this if we can. This is very, very ugly chart. But there it is. Truck inbound. Um, all right, so I don't like this at all. Peter, any news worth mentioning? I mean, I'm not sure if we want to even
Yeah,
look at this.
I don't know. Their technology is sort of cool. This is a company they make. Anyways, they're listed as a semiconductor company, but they make micro LED displays, and they're partnering with a company called AUO to make rollable displays using these disruptive organic thin film transistors (OTFTs). Don't know that, an acronym for everything. Anyways, but so I've always thought that was cool. I think I saw that in a sci-fi movie a long time ago where they had like, instead of a flat screen like we know now, it's like just a rollable screen. So you can keep it in a tube and then roll it out wherever you want, stick it on a wall. But anyways, or put it on a desk. And anyways, I thought that's cool. So they're apparently perfecting that technology, and this partnership may lead them to be able to commercially roll it out, since it is not, as far as I can tell, commercially available at this point. But it's cool technology if you get this, sort of nano thin transistor technology. So, anyways, that's the news. They are. I don't know. I mean, Carlos, we got a bunch of stuff that's moving like this one this morning, where they got volume. Like we're trading 3.5 million shares already in SMTK, and the price action actually looks okay based on that volume. But like you said, with the lower float, you just got to be careful on all of these. I. I'm not sure what's going on. This sometimes happens, though, by the way, for everybody. When you get lower overall volumes, right? Like it is a holiday week, which means some of the big, deep-pocketed money is not playing this week, right? They're going to keep their money exactly where it is, and it's not going to be moving in and out of the market as much as it would in another week, which sometimes gives an opportunity for these other stocks to, move a little more dramatically than they would otherwise. So we'll see if that's what's playing out here. But so far this morning, we got a lot of stuff with big volumes trading around here.
Yeah. Taking a look at it here, friends. Again, if you want to watch it, great. I won't be watching. I'll be wasting my time looking at this. I'm not going to trade it at all. You mentioned some other ones on here. UAVS is also one that we saw yesterday. So it's up again. Not actually yesterday and a couple of days ago, right? Gapped up on the middle of the month here, November 14. Looks like today up 17%, 1.7 million shares traded. Hard to borrow on this one. Flow also, I mean. It's just tiny, 181,000 shares traded. So another one that I am not a big fan of. Again, was in play yesterday without looking at the actual trading activity. Looks like it traded okay, but it's hard to tell. I mean, there's really no volume at the market open. I mean, look at this. This is pretty bad. Like, if you never traded a stock that looks like this, you have to watch it. It's brutal, right? So there's no volume whatsoever. Here and there, you get a couple of spikes with 100, 200,000 on a 5 minute. It's very difficult to trade. So I expect more of the same, Peter. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, this is, I agree, more of the same. This is part of the drone industry as well. So again, the whole sector's getting a boost as people have, they're speculating, right? It's not fact. The military hasn't suddenly put in big orders for new drones, but there's speculation that more drones are going to be needed. And like we were talking about yesterday, with the cost of fighter jets, if budget was actually moved from fighter jets to drones, you could buy a lot of drones for the cost of a fighter jet. So there's no arguing that it certainly would create a boon in this.
On the entire day, even on a day like this one, where look at this beautiful drop, you're just not getting a whole lot of volume. And again, the way we trade, volume is important to determine to kind of have a best possible shot to determine where the price actually is going to go. You need that. So without that's going to be very, very tough, at least for my strategy. Peter, anything on this one?
I mean, there is some news. They're partnering with Sarepta Therapeutics, which is one that we have seen before. SRPT is the ticker on Sarepta. That's the one they're partnering with. But on a global licensing deal for some of their RNA delivery programs, which is again interesting for them. I don't think this is going to be tradable. I feel like if you want to trade a sort of a risky, news driven, you're probably better off to stick with the drones, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. All right, heading down here, guys. Rivian's another one that's very active this morning. Was active
Hmm.
yesterday as well. Up 9% right now, 6.2 million shares traded, Peter. I like to trade this one when it is in play. Looks like today might be the day for that. What's your thoughts on what's moving this one?
Yeah,
Um,
they did get some news. The U.S. federal government is going to make a loan of $6.6 billion to Rivian to build a factory in Georgia. That factory had been stalled. I mean, they've been talking about this, I don't know, it seems like forever ago. I don't remember when, to be honest. And then as Rivian sort of had some issues with profitability, the feds said, "We're not sure we want to put money behind you if you're not solvent." I guess they've cleared that hurdle, or there's been a change of heart. But Rivian apparently is securing that $6.6 billion loan to build this Georgia-based factory. So yeah, that's why they're getting the boost this morning. So that infusion and support of the federal government is always a good thing. Interesting timing, right? Because obviously if the
I was gonna
feds are
say the
doing
same thing, Peter. Very
well,
interesting timing.
right? Like, again, by the news, we were just talking about this. Obviously, it's good news for Rivian today, but we know Elon's hitched his wagon to the incoming government, right? Which may not look as favorable to Elon's competitors. So it's hard to say though, right? Because there's also then the perception of direct favoritism, which they may have to avoid. So interesting move, anyways, for the current government to. I don't know if they fast tracked it. I don't know if they just took it off the shelf and blew the dust off and said, "Hey, let's do this while we can." Anyways, it is what it is. But yeah, we'll see where it goes. For the moment, it looks like it's giving you trading opportunities on Rivian if you want to take advantage of it.
Absolutely. Matt is saying conspiracy theories. Absolutely. What would this world be without them, right? It would be kind of
I
boring.
don't
But
see,
yeah,
but that's where
that's
Sorry, can
you know,
we
I
pause, Carlos and Peter? We're still having
yeah.
issues with
yeah,
YouTube. If you
we
can
still
switch
okay, we'll
over
switch
to,
over. Yeah.
yep, thank you.
All right, we'll switch over to VMix. Friends, just a little hiccup here. No worries. You will feel a little tingly sensation in just a second as we switch over to a different call connection
All
here.
right,
So 1 second.
we'll be right back. Bro.
Yep, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Of multiple failure points, right? You learn from failure a lot more than
Mm.
and you need those failure elements. But corporate culture is one about anyways, unfortunately, bureaucracy and the bigger a company gets, the less failure becomes tolerated as the expectation of consistent delivery comes into play. So it's just one of those universal truths, if you will, that has plagued businesses all over the place. Which is one of the reasons why you see like why is there so little R&D that comes out of these days of Google or a Microsoft? Like Microsoft is famous for they don't develop a lot of stuff in-house anymore. They buy companies, right? They see the technology and they buy it because they've understood that it's less they just can't do it as effectively inside in a lot of cases. You can take something once it's been developed to a certain point and actually then improve upon it and commercialize it much more effectively in a large organization, but you can't do the initial trial and error discovery phase as well. So anyways, yeah, it's one of those good quotes that it's good to remember, especially with us as traders, right? As you get into trading, it affects us as well. If you get afraid of failure, hard to move forward.
Good point. Friends, let's get right to it. So right now, Rivian, I like Rivian. I like the volume on it. I like the somewhat news of the timing of this, Peter. It's excellent.
Look, I was all ready to go on a rant right before we had our technology carryover. So, I can still do that, but because we get,
do it, man.
People are talking about it in conspiracy theories. There's a big difference between a conspiracy theory and political realities, right? Like we are directly seeing something that's happening that, I don't think I wouldn't call it a conspiracy theory to just say we may not understand the direct political motivation, what's driving it, but this is not a conspiracy theory, right? Like this is just there's a real thing happening. It's just we're speculating as to the cause of it. I think we get so wrapped up and we want to call everything a conspiracy when the reality is it's just this is the type of thing that's been happening forever. We just become these things now, and when we don't understand the reasons, we like to call it a conspiracy. I love conspiracy theories, but we should reserve that for things that really are in that bucket, right? Let's not call real life events conspiracy theories because it discredits actual activity the same way when we take scientific information and evidence and start discrediting that and calling it all just opinions, right? There's a big difference between scientific discovery and opinion pieces, and I find that we love to confuse things all the time, right? And anyways, this is my old man rant for
extreme apologies for the lag that you're getting over on YouTube. Our tech team knows about it and they're working on it. So they're trying to get it fixed here. So just bear with us. I know it's a pain in the butt. Audio is so important. Should we turn off our cameras? I think we tried that before. Did that help? Brent, let's turn off our cameras.
No, it's not a camera issue. It's a YouTube issue.
Oh, it's not?
I see it directly in YouTube's stream health. So I'm trying to fix it.
Oh,
it's an upload issue.
Got it. Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. So we'll see what happens there. All right, friends. So that kind of covers our gap up. I mean, there's some other stuff on here.
Just stuff that was gapping up this morning, some of which may be on your list and some of which may not, Carlos. One I'll mention quickly, PSTX trading. This is a Poseida Therapeutics, PSTX. They are subject to a buyout. This is about $9 a share is the proposed price. There you go. Now we got PSTX. This is an interesting one that it's $9 a share up front with a $4 kicker at closing. So this one is trending above the $9 mark. Normally you see it trend right below the buyout price, but with that $4 kicker on it, it puts it in a weird space. Buyouts don't normally trade well, but this has a lot of volume this morning, so I thought I'd mention it. And another one that was gapping up on earnings, though, this time is DKS. For those of you who have been around for a while, we only talk about Dick's Sporting Goods, if we're lucky 4 times a year, because it only pops up on our list at earnings. And surprisingly, compared to a lot of the other earnings, which will be on the gap down this morning, Dick's actually had a good quarter. They beat their numbers on the quarter, gave a surprise earnings beat. Revenue was slightly ahead. $3.03 billion was the consensus forecast. 3.06 billion is what they delivered in revenue. Earnings were slightly above. Their gross margin was higher than anticipated. All in all, everybody was buying more, I don't know, bats and balls, and probably clothing. I imagine they sell more clothing than actual sporting goods. I don't know. It's
Yes,
I
yes.
wonder what if you broke down their actual sales. I have no idea what it would be between actual like athletic equipment and, all of us. I'll put myself in that group. Us athletic wannabes, right? Where you buy the athletic gear, but you're not actually planning to do it
You're not an
to do
athlete.
a sport. Yeah. Anyways, because I need the super performance athletic gear to walk to the mailbox. Don't we all? Anyways,
Yeah, yeah.
but they raised their guidance for the next quarter, expecting sales growth of around 4%, which is much above their previous estimate of about 3%. So, and the analyst estimate was 3.3%, and they've their estimate, by the way, 3.6 to 4.2, which is actually above what the analysts were thinking. So that's why Dix is going up this morning, because analysts love it when you surprise them. Surprise me, as long as it's a pleasant surprise. Of course, they don't like being surprised to the downside.
Yeah,
Another one that I
yeah.
was watching this morning, gapping up here. If you like high risk stocks, how about Toyo? TOYO. This one caught my eye because it's up like 100% on 13 million shares being traded, and it's a solar company. I thought it was the tire company, but they don't trade independently. They're owned by Bridgestone. Everybody, I mean, I know Toyo tires. I've bought them for my car, but this is not them. This is Toyo Solar, and apparently they secured a new contract, $150 million contract, which is why they're gapping up. But big volume. I mean, it's really just it's pumping volume here. We're over 13 million shares now, and it's moving. I don't know if it's got another jump in it, but it sort of looks interesting if you like the low float. So, yeah, and
Yep,
everybody's catching on
absolutely.
to my little. Yes, I did do that on purpose. Bats and balls and Dick's Sporting Goods. All right, I knew you dirty minds would pick that up. All of you out there.
I'm sure they did. Let's take a look at what's gapping down, my friends. Leading the way is QMCO this morning, and they're down 22%. We spoke about this just yesterday. If you guys remember, oh, my son is calling me. We spoke about this just yesterday, Peter. Walk through the news. Let me see what my son needs here.
Yeah, yesterday was quantum. It was quantum everything. Well, this is one of the quantums, Quantum Corp, that's back on the list here. Yesterday was the good day for them, right? Because they had the big gap up, a big move. They did close higher than they started the day, but not as high as they had spiked to. They spiked all the way up to just about $28, closed around 21.77 was the official close. And really, there's nothing new here. This is really just the second day play, as you normally see a little bit of a pullback, and that's what we're seeing today. I don't see any news. I mean, we have to keep in mind 2 days ago this thing closed as a $9 stock, so there's a lot of room after a 140% increase at the close yesterday. This thing could fall back and not really be hurt overall. So I see the volume pretty lackluster. So not that interesting, to be honest, to me. A couple I'll close while Carlos is taking care of business over there. We may not be able to advance the chart screen, so apologies for that. But I was looking at Best Buy. May not be on his list, but BBY. BBY is down 2% this morning. Best Buy apparently is saying that Americans are not buying as many appliances or electronics. So get out there and buy an appliance. The economy needs you. They missed their numbers in the quarter, and when I say missed their numbers, by the way, they missed both revenue and the bottom line profitability. They've forecast that sales are going to drop 2.5 to 3.5% year over year, which is they'd already projected a drop of 1.5 to 3%, but the fact that they're increasing the bottom end of their range, and the top end fairly significantly, is what's got Best Buy gapping down. So I think this is going to be another, I think it'll gap further at the opening bell. It is a NYSE stock. whenever you trade on the New York Stock Exchange, some of those moves get reserved for after the opening bell. So might be worth watching. BBY is the ticker I'm talking about there. And then Kohl's, KSE.